Great days and glorious victory! Spiff stares blankly at the camera with a fake smile, as the remains of the sunbeam slowly trickle down into the ocean. I really don't want to do this. I really don't. Spiff stares at the water, a bead of sweat on his brow, and he swallows, visibly nervous. Welcome back to Subnautica, apparently. I really don't want to play this anymore. Spiff resolves himself to his terrifying fate and resumes wandering around the island, getting a few samples of plants and scanning a few things he finds, before returning to where he parked the seamoth. It is here he has his first encounter with a warper. He gets in the seamoth and tries to leave, but is teleported out of the cockpit closer to where the strange creature can deal damage. Spiff loses half his health in this attack. What? How did I get out of that? Ah! No! Get away! Get away! What the beep is that thing? Begone, beast! Spiff lashes out at it, and luckily snags a knife hit on it before it can do more damage. Spiff hastily enters his seamoth again and retreats with haste. It's a decently long drive back to his home base, and he wastes little time in retreating. Damn, I was unable to get a scan from it. Maybe I can do it next time. I need to carry more health kit thingies before I take on hostile entities. At least so I can scan them, really. Anyway, that was strange. Did that thing teleport me outside the seamoth? Seems like that's what happened. I'll have to avoid those things then. Spiff returns home and docks a seamoth into the moon pool. He exits and his face lights up. Oh, I forgot completely. I can name this thing. For some reason my comments section really wanted me to name it this. I have no idea why, but here you go. Spiff enters the word Harschlanglorp into the name, and it appears on the seamoth's hull. I have no idea what this means. Some guy in my comments mentioned this word, and there it was with nearly 2,000 upvotes, so here you go, Jacobson. Enjoy? Spiff shrugs this nonsense and resumes working, putting away his loot and grabbing some food items. He then gets to building base items again and expands with one of the large rooms. This one a large room with a glass dome top. Oh, I like this. This is pretty. I'll put some plant pots here. Maybe I can put the bed there. The office desk here. Spiff goes into interior decorator mode and starts turning the glass-domed room into a nice spot to live. A bedroom-office combo, essentially, going out to retrieve a coffee machine from a wrecked area for the sake of decor. Unfortunately for him, base integrity is a thing, and as he starts to install glass to the dome for more sunlight and views outside, base structural integrity fails as he installs a water filtration machine. The base goes offline and starts to fill up with water. Spiff doesn't notice, being too busy with his decorating, and only figures it out when he notices the water covering his bed. What? Water? What's going on? Spiffle scrambles about for a few minutes before his base fills completely. He surfaces for air and goes back down, then spends a half an hour in a panic trying to repair his base fruitlessly. Whenever he fixes one hole, another opens up. Why won't this thing fix? What am I doing wrong? Yeah! Spiff stops, pauses the game, and opens the wiki. He points his finger at the camera and swears, "Don't you judge me!" Spiff looks through the wiki and slaps himself with the palm of his hand. He tabs back in the game and adds a reinforcement bulkhead to one side of the base. This one change results in the structural integrity being fixed. He then repairs the holes and the base begins to drain. Well, that was annoying. What was I doing? Oh, yes, I was looking for something. Let me check my datapad thingy. Spiff looks for his journal and finds the message showing where he needs to go next. Okay then. Apparently there's two I can go find now. One of which is a thermal power plant and the other which is a disease research facility. Both are, well, very bloody deep. I need that prawn suit thing and, what was it again? Cyclops? Yeah, those. Need those to do that. I can explore a bit more in the seamoth for now, though. Might find a good spot for a base. Something more scenic? Spiff fits a depth module to the seamoth, sending its crutch depth to 500 meters. He hops in and starts to follow a distress signal from ages ago, heading to the east from the pod, returning to the jelly ray forest. Spiff encounters more jelly rays, the forest being full of them, and keeps going, scanning bits of wreckage as he goes. He fully unlocks the blueprint for the Cyclops and finally arrives near his location. 2 streaks of light moving in the darkness catch his eyes.
Oi! What's that? What is that? It's moving. I don't like that.
This is Spiffle's first look at an Ampeel. He's so fixated on the one creature with electricity for a body, he fails to notice a bone shark coming up to him. It roars. Spiffle squeals, turns and runs away as his seamoth takes damage.
No, 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 no! Screw you! Screw, I say!
He retreats to the forest again among the jelly rays and cowers for a little while.
Maybe this isn't the best spot to put a base with that shit nearby. I can see other things though. There's small purple things in the area. I wonder if I can scan them. Probably can, but the scaries. Do I have to?
Spiff approaches the edge of the new bulb biome and sits at the edge.
I have to, don't I?
Spiff takes a deep breath, lets out a warrior war cry and charges in, unfortunately coming face to face with an Ampeel. He dodges it and hides behind a bulb bush and shivers there for a bit. Then, something happens. His screen flashes, vision blurs and the face of some strange creature appears. A ghostly voice speaks to him. What are you?
No, 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 no. Fuck no, no, I'm out, no, no!
Spiff panics and retreats from the area, going as far away as possible. Unfortunately for him, he keeps going east and eventually finds his way into the abyss. He comes across a sheer cliff with darkness and dead silence going straight down, and tries to follow it down, sticking close to the cliff's wall.
Oh dear. What even is this? Is this a thing? Where does it go? I can't go deeper. Crush Def reached here. What now? It goes a lot further. That dark. The fact I can't see anything down there really makes me scared. I don't want to...
Spiff's train of thought is interrupted by a loud echoing roar in the depths. By the time he notices what was going on, a ghost leviathan has spawned and is already right on him. He panics, presses the wrong button, and is ejected from his seamoth. He can't do or react to anything, too busy panicking as a loud, horrified screech comes from him. The ghost leviathan attacks him and does severe damage to him. He panics, trying to swim away, and gets eaten. Spiff has turned a pale shade of pink at the sight of the leviathan, and has now faced his second death in the game. He keeps squealing like a piglet in pain, and slowly crawls out of his chair under his desk, where the noise slowly dissipates. The credits roll to the sound of him starting to do a manly cry of fear. Top comment. Lol, Ghost Leviathan. That's the manliest squeal of terror I have ever heard. My wife had to come in and pull me off the floor. I was laughing so hard. Spiff's response.
Oh, bugger off. You haven't faced anything like this before, so I doubt you can understand.
Reply. Please. I work as a station hand on Callisto. I've gutted and eaten worse. Callisto and clawfish is delicious. Spiff's reply.
Wait, what?
The camera starts up and shows Spiffle in view. He doesn't say anything, and instead pulls up a picture of a group of humans smiling at the camera, around the corpse of some kind of whale/eel kind of eldritch monster hoisted up by its skull from a hook. The caption for the photo is, Callisto fishermen and a prime clawfish catch.
So, I found out humans actually do have worse things in the universe than things in Subnautica, and they not only hunt them for sport, but also hunt them for food. I have made a note to never visit the human home system. The place sounds goddamn terrifying. Anyway, Subnautica again.
Spiffle sighs heavily, truly not wanting anything to do with this anymore, and carries on from where he left off, with no inventory, no tools, after he'd just been eaten by a monster.
Oh, gods. I have to rebuild all of my equipment again.
Spiffle cries a bit as he starts regaining all his gear. After a short building and resource gathering montage, Spiff is about to get a new seamoth when he notices the blip on his HUD.
Wait, my seamoth is still alive? They didn't... Oh, right, I remember. I panic buttoned and got out of it. Well, that's okay. Just need to go in and get it then.
Spiff spends a short amount of time heading to where he left the seamoth, using a sea glide as his speedy transport. He tries in desperation to avoid the Ampeels and bone sharks in the area, barely escaping an Ampeel attack on the way. He finally arrives at the destination and surfaces.
By all the gods, this is rather daunting. Very daunting, in fact. Just an empty ocean as far as the eye can see. Empty, deep ocean. I hate this.
Spiff unconsciously takes a deep breath as he dives, heading for the seamoth. It's 400 meters down and is just barely inside his dive range. He quickly hops in the seamoth just as a ghost leviathan spawns and starts his routine.
No, 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 no! Get away, go away, get away, go away!
Spiffle squeals in a most unmanly manner and resurfaces, charging towards the pod and his base.
I hate the ocean!
Spiff runs back to the pod, gets in, and spends a few minutes just shivering in his seat.
Why are they so big? Why do they glow? Why all the teeth?
Spiffle tries to reclaim his sanity for a few moments, going off camera for a bit. He returns, holding a bobblehead of Luigi from Mario Kart.
Okay then, let's get going. Need to visit this place, do more work. Let's go, that way.
Spiffle heads towards a beacon on his HUD for Officer Keen's broadcast location. Through the weeds, across a desert biome, and near a few cave entrances near the entrance to the deeper caves. He goes to the location and hovers near the surface.
Oh no, can't it be above the water for once? Come on! 400 meters down? My seamoth can barely handle that. Well, here we go then.
Spiff dives down and hovers barely above the destroyed pod, picking up 2 PDAs, then quickly retreats back into the seamoth and returns to the surface.
Why does this feel so bad? Damn ocean. Anyway, let's see then. Officer Keen. Detected dry land. Dry land?!
Spiffle ignores the rest and frantically looks around for the new beacon. On spotting it, he charges ahead at full speed. He follows the beacon, encountering the island. With careless abandon, he finds the floating island and launches the seamoth out of the water onto the beach, and immediately hops out.
Land! Finally! Sturdy ground! I am moving my base here right now!
Spiff ignores the game's questline again, and focuses the next 20 minutes to a montage of him systematically disassembling his base, transporting all the resources to the new floating island, and sets up everything but the moon pool on the ground of the island, creating a series of silly tunnels as he tries to make it look at least vaguely nice, snaking it around and over a cliff's edge.
There! Lovely! Home. Out of the fucking water! I can think again. Yay!
Spiff only now takes the chance to explore the island, and starts walking the winding pathways around the area. On finding Keen's PDA in a cave-like area, he follows the pathway up to a base. He dodges and weaves through the cave crawlers in the area and finds a few PDAs, lantern fruit trees, Chinese potatoes, and the marble melon fruit. Spiffle battles with more cave crawlers and scans some stuff for base building, and working on other things. He spots a base structure high up on a cliff. All the way up there? How did they get up there, though? Oh, of course, Spiff, there's a pathway up. Follow the gravel road, I suppose. Spiff carries on, fighting cave crawlers and marveling at the view, scanning everything he can as he moves. He eventually finds the top of a cliff and recovers a PDS from an observatory position. Only to find there are 2 clifftop observatories, and the one he found wasn't even the one he saw first. Just as it goes nighttime.
Oh, bugger off! Oh, fine. Can't go anywhere for now. Too dark and being stupid, I forgot my flashlight thingy. Can't see. Wait until morning.
Spiff wanders about the top of the cliff for a bit. Then he bothers to look up, seeing the twin moons around the planet. The small moon in the far background, along with the massive red moon in the foreground, moving all too fast for comfort.
What the hell? Wow, that's... Has that always been there? I've seen that before, right? Why is that so unsettling? That moon must be in a degrading orbit to be that close. Bugger me, I hate that.
Spiffle watches the moon drift about, and eventually fully circle the player. For some reason, Spiff has a moment of calm as the sun comes up. The orange and red tones of sunlight poke through the horizon. The small moon above it slowly fading into the distance as the rays of light shoot past the wreckage of the Aurora.
My gods, that is pretty. That's very pretty for a game from ancient times. And all this from an independent developer too. This is impressive. I love games that add in all this detail.
Spiff waits until the sun is up, then heads back down the path to the other cliff top. Halfway up the mountain, everything suddenly goes dark again.
Oi, oi! Where did my sun go? It's daylight!
Spiff looks up and spots an eclipse. The large red moon has moved in front of the star, creating a spectacular eclipse. Spiff watches it for a bit longer and smiles at the sight.
Pretty. Ooh, well, that's how they do it. You can see in the footage. Look, it's the old skybox system. The sky is in a virtual dome thingy that an image is painted onto. Or something. For my non-human viewers, this is how the human games do it before realistic sky rendering is a thing. They'd put a 3D image on a flat surface, then make it move around you, giving the illusion of a sky. You can see it here. It works quite well, but it can still be seen. Human games use this system a lot. Very effective.
Spiff gives a small explanation using his in-game cursor to point out how the skybox works, then resumes his climbing. He gets to the outpost and acquires more PDAs for later. He gets some new signals to go to, but most importantly, he finds the blueprint for the indoor grow bed.
Oh, big plant. I can plant this lantern fruit in it, I hope. Yay, good food. Maybe this bowl thing too? Food supply is fixed forever.
Spiff heads back to his seamoth, then back home to let it charge while he faffs about with base building for a little bit. Spiff builds another large room where he puts in a bed, a bench facing a window, coffee machine, and an office against a wall. He uses the partition system and door to make a small room, sort of like a kitchen, where he puts a coffee machine, vending machine, and marble melon planter. He creates a rather cozy spec. Here he finds the picture frame and figures out he can put a custom picture in it. He tabs out, does some filling about a bit, and returns. The picture is a photo of his Tea Empire simulator playthrough, and it's the photo of him and his family in top hats, monocles, gentlemanly dress, and holding cups of tea.
There! It actually feels like home! What was I doing again? Oh! Damn, right. Curing a disease so I don't die horribly. Right. Where do I go? Life pod 12 according to my HUD. Right. Harsh and Glorp, come hither. What even is that name?
Spiff hops in the seamoth and then heads out towards the location. He goes through the shallows, the red grass desert, then gives a happy squeal as he goes through the shroom tree forest, smiling at the jelly rays. The happiness doesn't last too long, and he finds himself near the Ampeel habitat.
I don't want to go in there. I hate there. Why do I have to go there?
Spiff groans in fear and frustration and moves around, dodging bone sharks and ampeels through the bulb bushes. Eventually he gets to the pod and hesitatingly exits, scrambling to get into its remains. He finds blueprints for charge fins, a PDA with more data, and buggers off. He hastily gets back in the seamoth, getting attacked by a bone shark covered in green tumours, and squeals in terror as he retreats back home.
I hate that place.
Spiff spends more time base building, acquiring more resources and building another moon pool.
Right. I'm not going anywhere else. Need a thing. What was it again? Oh, the prawn suit. I want that. I can smack stuff with it if I remember. Well, hopefully it had claw arm things. Knowing humans, if it has claws or arms, I can use it to smack things.
Spiff heads up to the mobile vehicle bay to find out what he needs to build a prawn suit, and groans angrily as the price of one is more than expected.
Expensive! Plasteel, aerogel, glass, lead, diamonds. That aerogel is the pricey bit though. Damn it! Okay. Francine? Resource collection montage.
A montage of Spiff scrambling around for resources, most of which he already has, follows, and Spiff quickly builds the prawn suit. He puts the seamoth in the new moon pool and the prawn in the old moon pool. He changes its colour to be similar to the seamoth, and leaves the name blank for now.
What to call it? Meh, leave it to the comments. What's the name? Now, to work. Depth Module Mark 1 is all I can do for now, plus the grappling arm. Need that. Right, where do I go? Life Pod 13. Seamoth for this one, I think.
Spiff moves around and finds the jelly ray habitat again, grabbing the PDA and the pod wreckage. Then he heads back home to try out the prawn suit. The beacon marked Proposed Degassi Habitat is his next target.
Righty then. The next bit is a story bit, I think. I'll take the prawn suit for this one. See how it performs. The AI on my PDA said that people feel ultra powerful when they're in these things. Maybe that's actually the case. I don't know. No idea how long, so food, water, extra power cell. Right, I have 700 meter crush depth, so I should be fine. Let's go.
Spiff gets in the suit and wanders off towards the beacon. He fumbles, noting how slow and cumbersome the suit is in the strange terrain, compensating for the difficulty by using the grappling arm. He defends himself against a sand shark and chuckles evilly as it runs from him.
I knew it! If it looks like it can smack, it will in fact smack. Now, where's this thing? Underground? Under me? Where is an entrance I can use?
Spiff fumbles around for a bit as he tries to find the entrance and finally finds it. The underground mushroom biome with the crabsnakes.
I said no!
Spiffle pauses, saves and exits the game. Then his cries of despair can be heard fading into the background to a chorus of,
I hate the snakeworm things! I don't want to! I don't want to!
Top comment. Lol, you really hate the crabsnakes that much, Spiff? Seems a bit silly to me. Spiff's reply,
Bugger off, you old fart! You've never had to deal with those
very censored
things!
Reply, au contraire. User posts a link to Callisto Dockyards, showing the recovered fresh kill of a 400-foot-long iceworm.
Spiff's reply, oh, for crazy bastard humans! Great days and glorious victory!
Spiff stands at the edge of the entrance to the Mushroom Caves biome.
Why am I playing this game again?
Spiff swallows his pride and unpauses the game.
Right. Welcome back to Subnautica. I hate this game. I hate the ocean. But I must do this, apparently. I hate you all.
Spiff glares at the camera angrily and then jumps into the hole, falling straight down into the underground Jelly Shroom Caverns biome. Spiff pauses mid-fall as he spots several crab snakes swimming around in the nearby area, and he visibly cringes, shuddering in disgust.
I hate this place!
Spiff collects his thoughts and resumes falling. He has the good fortune of dropping right on top of the Degassi habitat, where he needs to collect data. He parks the prawn, clambers inside and dodges several drooping stingers, and recovers various blueprints, bits, pieces, PDAs, and a few other things, acquiring a few new blueprints. With that completed, Spiff hastily retreats before noticing anything, and doesn't bother reading any new data before he hurriedly hops back in the suit, and desperately clambers out of the way he came in.
I hate this place!
Spiff grumbles to himself as he trundles back home to take stock of everything he found and stocks up on water, food, and sits on the bench he made before readying everything.
Ah! Water filtration system. Ultra high capacity tank? Ooh, I'm building that one. And passwords for the Aurora. Stuff to do. Right, good. Oh, a radio message, huh?
What follows isn't necessarily one of the most iconic messages, but definitely one of the most memorable moments in the game's history. It's a message from two YouTubers named Neebs and Apsro, from the gaming channel Neebs Gaming, YouTubers who did a roleplay series for the game during its early days. This is our Terror HQ. This may be our only communication window. We can't send a rescue ship all the way out there, so Aurora,
You're just gonna have to meet us halfway. We've uploaded blueprints to the ship's computer. We're doing a sandwich run. Are you in? Yeah, give me a sec. Black box data shows the high security terminal in the captain's quarters is still functional. Becca's leaving like in 5 minutes. Alright, tell Becky I'll just take the regular. The regular? Yeah, she'll know what I mean. And if she doesn't, just tell her the regular, dude. If I say regular and she's like, what's the regular? I have to come all the way back up here? The code should be 2679. The regular's just a ham and cheese. Okay, well, would you just say ham and cheese? Ham and cheese. Okay. Spiff looks at the camera and blinks. Well, okay then. Back to the Aurora I go, I guess. Oh, wait, before I go, I have a thing. Previous video I asked for a name. The prawn suit's name is... Steve. Spiff goes to the suit and looks at the name. A bright blue juxtaposed with the suit's low purple. Yup, Steve. It was the most upvoted comment on that video, so there you go. Now I need to go to the Aurora. Spiff heads to the seamoth Harshenglorp and proceeds to the Aurora once more. He dodges and weaves, scaring himself out of his own skin from the angry yell of a reaper leviathan that's too close for comfort. He finally arrives, hops into the Aurora and makes his way through. He has to go through it again, as by now the majority of stuff had respawned, including the fires, and has to work his way back up to the captain's quarters, grabbing a few bits he missed on the way. Right, 2679. There. What's in here? A poster of the Aurora? A miniature figurine of the Aurora? Oh, that's pretty. Data terminal. Jupiter escape rocket? Oh, I need to build that to get out of here, huh? Yay! Right. I need to get out of here. Spiff exits the Aurora and returns to the seamoth, deftly dodging, bobbing and weaving his way out of the wreckage before returning home. Spiff gets back and checks the ingredients list for the platform. It annoys him. That is expensive. And I still have to build a cyclops as well, from what I know. Let's do the cyclops first and do the main quest, or whatever it is. Let's see. Not too bad. Let's build that then. Just needs more titanium. Spiff casually gathers some resources and finally builds the cyclops. Unfortunately, he does an oopsie, and when he builds it, he accidentally builds it too shallow, on top of his base. It flops down, doing some damage as it hits the roof, then flops to its side. Well, shit. That was stupider than usual. God damn it, Spiff, you should have known this. Spiff checks the damage and then resigns himself to his fate. He has to move the contents of his entire base out of the way and deconstruct the part of the base the Cyclops is stuck on in order to move it. He does so. 2 hours of work as he has to move all his resources, build a new dome, and then reconstruct everything again. By the end of it, he is most annoyed and finally enters the Cyclops to see what it is. Oh, well, finally inside. Oh, storage lockers built into the hull. Ladder upstairs, then... Oh, a docking bay! I can fit the prawn in here. Then here's the engine bit at the back. Upstairs we go. Oh my, that's a big engine. It works through here. Upgrade fabricator. Okay, good to know. Lots of space in here. Wait, can I build stuff in this thing? Spiff equips his builder tool and is able to put down an aquarium. He then spends the next solid hour in a montage that Francine helpfully skips through to make his Cyclops more homely. He installs a vending machine, coffee machine, a small office, all the stuff he needs including chargers and a fabricator, moving his modification station to the sub. He puts down a bed, a growing bed and lantern fruit tree for food and water, then moves his new friend Reginald into the new aquarium. There, feels like home. Now what was I doing? Oh yeah, check my PDA for directions here. What do I do? Ah, I see. Disease Research Facility. 1,200 meters down. And a power facility 800 meters down. Looks like there's something under the floating island too. Need to go there, I guess. Okay, first thing. Floating island. Let's go. Spiff docks Steve the prawn suit in the Cyclops.
The cyclops now has a paint job and a name. Pink with purple stripes and a blue name. Its name has been changed, the bright blue lettering reading Mini Monk, likely a reference to Spiff's daughter, who was seen playing Slime Rancher with her dad. Spiff gets in the pilot's seat, turns the engine on and heads towards the island. He travels along the surface for some reason and uses the cameras to look around.
I hate the fact I cannot see the bottom. I hate that. I really don't like that. Why am I playing this?
Spiff hits the down button and he starts going down. He gets close to a cave network and gets annoyed.
I was afraid of this. Need the seamoth. The terrain here is too nasty. I can't be bothered with it. I'm just going to swim home, get the seamoth, and then get back here and use that. I just can't be bothered.
Spiff sighs, resigns himself to his fate and lifts the sub to the surface, gets out and swims home. He returns to his base after 10 minutes of swimming on the surface, then drives back to the sub. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, then dives once again. He encounters floating bacteria colonies, strange plant formations and odd colours, and immediately turns pale at the sight of one of Subnautica's most irritating enemies, the Crabsquid.
No, fuck, why? Why? I thought I was safe from spiders. Why the fuck does this thing exist?
Spiff yelps as it spots him. Spiff just ignores it and runs the hell away from it. He doesn't get far as the creature releases his signature EMP blast, then attacks the seamoth. The EMP blast disables the vehicle for a few seconds. Spiff panics, gets out, and tries to do something but simply gets attacked himself. Spiff screams in terror, gets back in the seamoth, and drives as fast as he can back to the surface. He dodges, weaves, and bobs, popping up out onto the surface. He pauses the game, and then goes on a tirade about the Crabsquid, and the fact the game has no guns. Francine, Spiff's editor, thankfully skips the tirade and returns to Spiff going back down. His complexion is slightly purple now, as opposed to his usual blue, indicating a mix of fear and anger. He goes down back into the cave system, encountering a Crabsquid again.
Eat shit!
Spiff squeals a battle cry as he charges the creature and rams into it. This causes damage, but the beast retreats, allowing Spiff to slip past. Spiff carries on through the cave, encountering a base, a ruined habitat. Warpers and Crabsquid swarm the area. Spiff is not a happy alien, as he moves towards the nearest opening. A Crabsquid sets up camp outside the base as he enters it, and he finds several PDAs and blueprints for the Cyclops shield generator.
Shield generator? Ooh, I'm going to need that. I will install that later, I think. Now, what do I do with this? Ah! Entrance to the upper levels is over there. Have to go past that thing, though. I hate that thing. Do I have to? I have to, don't I?
Spiff takes a deep breath, equips his knife and charges out with a loud squealing battle cry. He slashes at it, taking some damage in return, but forcing the monster to retreat. Spiff quickly gets back in the seamoth, getting his oxygen back. He quickly pops out, repairs the seamoth, and gets back in the structure. He gets the blueprint for the alien containment unit, orange alien tablet, 2 PDAs, a strange creature egg, and a few decorative bits for his base. He immediately gets back in the seamoth and exits the cave without elaborating further. In some kind of silent rage, Spiff just heads back to his base, occasionally giving the camera a death glare as he does. He docks the vehicle and starts decorating his base. Eventually, he gets the alien containment set up. He has to move his bed to put it in the new spot, but puts down a hatch, and drops the creature egg he found in it.
You know, it feels empty. Can I put plants in here? I can? Let's go shopping for plants then.
Spiff wanders around for a while, collecting plant seeds by slashing at them with his blade, and puts them all in the containment planters. He does, however, get distracted, and uses his propulsion cannon to collect some fish, a few creature eggs, and gets even more distracted by the appearance of LifePod 2's signature. He ignores the signature, noting where it is, and heads to the shroom forest to find new stuff.
An egg. It's blue. What? Is this a jelly ray egg? Can I actually have a pet jelly ray? Mine, I say!
Spiff grabs the egg and makes a hasty retreat back to base, and quickly deposits the eggs he found, releasing some of the smaller fish he caught in it too. He gets even more distracted and builds another large base module, putting 2 more alien containment units in it. Francine sees where this is going and adds some Benny Hill music to a montage of Spiff chasing Reginald's and grabbing whatever Jelly Ray eggs he can find. The sequence is quite comical, considering how Spiff is so distracted, he forgets he has a propulsion cannon to make catching fish easier, and chases Reginald's to his near death several times. He enters his first alien containment unit and spots a new creature.
What is that thing? Tentacles? What are you?
I can pick you up.
I can? Well, let me scan you first and then we will see what you can do.
Spiff scans it, the cuddlefish, and grabs it, taking it outside. He drops it, releasing it into the wild. It wanders about, and Spiff wonders what the hell this is for. He shrugs and moves around a bit to collect more flora for his new project. The cuddlefish is following him around.
Are you following me? I can interact with you? Play with cuddlefish. Okay. What do that do?
Spiff interacts and an animation plays where the cuddlefish gives the player a high five.
Oh, I get it now. It's a pet. I've had pets in games before. But this place is stupid dangerous. Can I order you to stay near base? I can. Okay. Is it just the hand thing, or...
Spiff spends a few minutes playing with the cuddlefish and runs through its animations, smiling for the first time in several hours.
Humans would name you... Hercules. That's from human mythology if I recall correctly. I will have you stick around here. It's far too dangerous for you to follow me. I have forgotten how many times I've been eaten. Don't want that happening to you. So, stay. Stick around near the base for now.
The creature wanders off and hovers around the moon pool. Spiff sits back and smiles.
You know what? That actually ended on a nice note. I'll call it for this one. I wish I could take the cuttlefish with me on trips, but it's too dangerous. Bye all!
Spiff's outro plays. Top comment. Yup, cuddlefish. Added in late in development. And here's a bit of trivia for you. You know the message with the captain's code? That message was done by a pair of YouTubers who did a roleplay of the game during the game's development. The devs loved it so much, they asked the guys to be in the game. Isn't that awesome? Maybe you can do it too.
Spiff's reply. Seriously? That's real? Granted this game is ancient, but maybe that can happen. That would be an honor, to be honest.
Reply. And yes, Crabsquids suck. Suck eggs. Crabsquid bad. Can kill with gas torpedo.
Spiff's response. Gas torpedoes? That's a thing? I need to check that. I need those. Those would be nice.